Hello, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, madam.
Hari. Okay. So, good evening. There are students joining still. We'll wait for 2-3 minutes. Uh, I think even though I shared this slide, I'm not sure whether we have completed the first one. Okay. Therefore, I am sharing the first topic once again. So, we are with the subject Sociology of Education. Okay, so we'll just check what we have already done. Okay, the subject is Sociology of Education. So under that, we have 2 units actually. So we are with unit number 1, Education and Sociology. So here you can see there are 5 subtopics. Introduction, unit objectives, relationship between sociology and education, scope of educational sociology, aims of educational sociology. So here, just see, we started with the introduction to the subject, and we discussed in detail the objectives of this unit. And then we discuss in detail the relationship between sociology and education. Okay, sociology and education, they are interrelated. They cannot be separated. Okay, so there is a very strong relationship between sociology and education. Okay, so we discussed these things also, how sociology influences education. So, okay, so sociology helps us to understand social factors, cultural diversity, social change, identifying social issues in education. Okay, so we discuss certain social issues related to education. They are educational inequality, school violence and bullying, teacher burnout. Okay, so we discussed the, you just tell me where we stop. And then informing educational policies. Okay, now tell me, we discuss in detail how sociology influence education. Tell me whether we discuss how education influences sociology. Just think and tell me. Okay, here I will show you the slide. Socialization and cultural transmission, social mobility, social change, and just check whether we have done scope of educational sociology. Okay, you just tell me whether we have done this or not. Uh, I shared the slides with, yeah, wait. Did you receive the slides? Are you having the slides with you?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes. So, did we complete this?
Of course we did.
Hari, okay, sure. That's what I want to know. The social factors that influence access to education.
These things we done, ma'am.
Yeah, we did, I think.
We
Yeah.
Yeah.
The role of education in social stratification and in inequality, we did this also.
Yes, we done.
Yeah. The impact of cultural and social capital on educational attainment. Are you not sure? Yeah, let me show you. Cultural capital.
We done, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Habits and attitudes, knowledge of the hidden curriculum, social capital. Fourth one, the relationship between education and sociology. Sorry, social change.
did, ma'am.
Did. The social organization of schools and classrooms.
I think number 6 we have to do today.
Okay, correct. Without wasting time, we'll start with this. Number 6. Okay. The social and cultural dimensions of teaching and learning. Okay, simply read. And okay, understand the topic. The social and cultural dimension. So dimension is somewhat similar to extent of teaching and learning. The social and cultural dimensions of teaching and learning uh, encompasses encompass the complex interplay of social interactions, cultural values and belief that shape the educational experience. So when we think about teaching and learning process, so inside that there are lots of social and cultural related stuff actually. Okay, we'll see what they are. Social dimension. Okay, when you finish reading, let me know. Annie, okay. I think you might have finished reading. So, teacher-student relationship. So, what we are talking is actually the social and cultural dimensions which affect teaching and learning. So, social dimension, teacher-student relationship. So, the teacher-student relationship or else the rapport between teacher and student, it's a very, very important factor in the process of teaching and learning. So, teacher represent teaching, the student represent learning. So, to have a healthy relationship between these two, there are some factors which affect. Factors like trust. So, there should be a very strong trust between teacher and the students. Respect, the mutual respect to each other. Empathy and open communication. So these qualities will have a positive learning environment. Okay, so I think it is clear. If it is not clear, you can directly ask or else you can put a message. Peer interaction. Interaction among students, including so then students interact with each others in different ways. Okay, so uh, these different types of interactions include cooperation, collaboration, competition. Okay, there are different types of interaction. So whatever these types, they influence learning outcome. Peer support, supporting each other. Mentorship. Okay, that means another student can act as a mentor for some another student. I mean the peers can enhance learning while peer pressure and bullying can hinder it. Peer interaction can be both positive and negative. When it is positive, that means when peers support each other, it enhances learning. At the same time, when peers are giving unnecessary pressure and when they are bullying, it will disturb learning process. Okay, I hope it is clear. We'll see the next one. Okay, so classroom climate. So, what do you mean by classroom climate? So, classroom climate includes social and emotional atmosphere of the classroom. Okay, both social and emotional atmosphere of the classroom. So it includes factors like inclusivity. What do you mean by inclusivity? So inside the classroom, just imagine there are 30, 40, 50 students. All the students should be considered. That means some students should not be ignored. But sometimes teachers, so they go the journey. I mean, they teach only to clever students. So as a result, the weaker students will be excluded. Okay, that's what it says. Inclusivity is very important. That means whether the student is clever or not, they all should be included in the process of learning and teaching. Safety. The classroom should be a very comfortable, safety place for them. So there is some. Yes, favorism shouldn't be happening in the classroom. Exactly. What you mentioned is correct. And respect. Significantly impact students' engagement and learning. Okay, so when these qualities are there in the classroom environment, climate only, it will be a positive classroom for learning. And then social norms and expectations. Okay, so then different societies, the weight that different societies put on education is different. If I explain it further, some societies high regards academic achievement. At the same time, there are some other societies, they do not high value academic achievement. Instead, they may giving high value to other things, just like uh, business or else film industry or whatever it is. And the role of education in social mobility. That means the role of the education plays in social mobility. And all these things influence students' motivation and aspiration. So, if a student is from a society where the education is given a prominent place, will be motivated to learn. At the same time, a student who came from a society where education is not regarded as something very valuable will be demotivated. Okay, next one. So now what we discuss is social dimension. Under that, teacher-student relationship, peer interactions, classroom climate, social norms and expectation we discuss. So now we are moving to cultural dimensions. Okay, we'll see cultural dimensions. Under that, cultural values and belief. Cultural values and beliefs about learning. Okay, so it differs from culture to cultures. The values and belief about learning differ from culture to culture. Okay, cultural values and belief not only about learning, that's about knowledge, and the role of education is very important to shape students' learning style, attitudes, and expectations. So, according to cultural values, belief, the students' attitude and expectations will uh, be different. For an example, here you can see there are some cultures which promote root memorization. In Sinhala we call katapadam karna, root memorization, or else learning by heart. While other cultures may prioritize critical thinking and problem solving. Okay, so there may be particular culture which gives high regards to students' memory. Memory is not something very tough actually, something very important. Memory is something that we can remember. But at the same time, for an example, year 5 scholarship exam, memory is given priority, what students can remember. But there are some other cultures which prioritize critical thinking and problem solving. Yes, the society, the culture is very important in the field of education. I mean the teaching and learning. Next one. Oh, sorry, what happened? Wait, where was something? Okay, can I explain? Yes, language and communication. So, language and communication plays a major role in teaching and learning. So, culture-wise, language and communication differ. Okay, so I have told you early, language and culture both are same. Language and culture is inseparable. For an example, Sinhalese language is Sinhalese culture. Tamil language is Tamil culture. But in Sri Lanka, Tamil language represent Muslim culture also. Cultural differences in language and communication style affect students' understanding and participation in classroom activities. Okay, so the cultural understanding is very important in the process of learning actually. And next, cultural diversity. You know what diversity? In diverse classrooms. So the classrooms are diverse. That means there may be different students. Uh, in diverse classroom, teachers need to be aware of and sensitive to the different cultural background and perspectives of their teachers. Okay, in one classroom, there may be students from different cultures. Okay, so in one classroom, there may be Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim students. This include, yes. So when they are there in a class, actually, when they are learning together, they need to understand or they need to have a good understanding about these cultural differences. And students should respect each other's culture. Because in culture-wise also, the values, beliefs, and learning styles will be different. Okay, that is cultural diversity. Next one. Okay, cultural representation. The curriculum and teaching materials uh, should be related to diversity of human experiences and perspectives. Just imagine uh, in the classroom, in a particular classroom, there are Sinhalese, Muslim, and Tamil students. But when we pay our attention to teaching materials, it is basically based on Sinhalese students. So it's wrong. So then basically the teaching materials should represent all the cultures. This includes incorporating diverse voices, perspectives, and stories in the learning process. Okay, so there should be stuff from all the cultures when preparing a teaching material. Rather than limiting to a particular culture, the teaching material should cater all the cultures. Okay. Implication for teaching and learning. Culturally responsive teaching. So when teacher is teaching, actually, it should be culturally responsive, adapting their teaching methods and material to meet the diverse needs and learning style of their students. Okay, so a teacher when teaching should not ignore culture. Okay, that should not be done. So building inclusive classroom, creating inclusive classrooms that value and respect diversity is essential for the students to feel welcome, supported, and engage in learning. Okay, so as one of you had mentioned, the teacher should never have favorism. Okay, so then every student should feel welcome, supported, and engaged in learning. What is happening here? Yeah, 1 minute. Hari, okay, this one. Okay. Cultural representation. There is a message. What is that? Yeah, let me check. We discussed this slide. Okay, sorry. We'll go to the next one. Implication of teaching and learning. Similar things actually. Quickly we'll discuss. Okay, so things we discussed earlier actually, similar things. When teachers practice teaching and learning process actually, it should be culturally responsive teaching. Okay, teacher, before teaching actually, when teachers are going to teach, they should get a very clear picture about the diversity of students. Okay, that is highly necessary. So after getting that clear idea only, the teacher has to adjust or change his or her way of teaching. So she has to change or adapt it to meet the diverse needs and learning style of their students. And the next one is building inclusive classroom. We already discussed. Okay, so then everybody in the class room should be considered. No one should be ignored. That is the basic idea. Here. Okay, promoting cultural understanding. So in the process of teaching, actually, the teacher should promote cultural understanding. Okay, cultural understanding is something very important because uh, when we truly living in society, actually, that understanding is very, very important. That base of that understanding should be started at the school. Connecting learning to real world experiences. So another thing the teachers can do is actually learning can be converted or can be integrated to real world experiences, and culturally relevant context can make learning more meaningful. So when teacher is deciding activities, for an example, we'll say she should decide it to suit the real world experiences. Next one, that question mark somewhere else. Is that the end? Yes, that is the end there. Yeah, this question mark is at the wrong place. Now it is going to the same place. Okay, here some sample questions are here. See whether you can answer them. Discuss the integrate relationship between can't see it, sociology and education, providing specific examples of how they influence each other. Analyze the scope of educational sociology, highlighting the key areas of inquiry within this field. Okay, one more question is there. Hani, okay. Do you have any questions regarding this topic before we go to the next one? I am asking. Any question? Check whether everything is clear to you. Okay, so we'll go to the second topic. Here, see, let me share it with you. Aims of educational sociology. Let me check with I. Yeah, aims of educational sociology. Hari, okay, read and understand. Hari, okay, we'll see. Understand the social forces that shape educational system and experiences. Okay, there are some factors like socio-economic status, race, gender, culture, and power dynamics, and they influence access to education. This is a very common factor actually. The quality of education and students' outcome. That means socio-economic status of a person, race, gender, culture, and they affect uh, the education learning system. They have influence access to education, the quality of education, and students' outcome. We'll go to the next one. These are very simple facts. Hi. Okay, here you can get an idea about the relationship between education and social inequality. Okay, and this is a factor actually which I need not to explain. You know, uh, educational, yeah, and social education, social inequality affect education actually. That means rich and poor will say rich students, they are having access to education and they are having access to resources and systems, but at the same time, poor children, they don't have access to resources and education. So because of these things, we can see uh, some students are getting education properly, while some other students are not having proper access to education. So then rich and poor, that means uh, social inequality, that is a matter related to sociology. That is not a matter related to language actually. So our subject is sociology of education. So from this also you can understand sociology, it affects language. Next one. Number 3. So here you can understand there are challenges and disparities related to education. So this includes issues like achievement gap, school dropout rates, lack of access to quality education. So the marginalized people actually, they are facing these issues, inequalities and challenges. Inform educational policies and practices. So when we have a better awareness about the social dimensions of education, that means if uh, we have a very good understanding about how social matters affect education. So education sociology can inform the development and implementation of more effective and equitable educational policies and practices. So, educational policies are taken by educational experts, actually, policymakers. So, when they are taking educational decisions, if they are having a very good understanding about social matters, social issues which affect education, they can take policies to have very effective and equitable education policies and practices. Sometimes when these decision makers are taking educational decisions, they may not be having a proper idea about society. Sometimes the policies mismatch. That can be avoided by having a very good understanding about social dimensions of education. Next one. What is this message? Lecture ends at 9:30. And last time, how I shared the slides, I can't remember actually. How did I share the slides?
Madam, you shared to the group through the chat.
Which group?
Here, this
Chat box,
through
right?
the chat, miss.
In chat
Upload the
box,
chat
miss.
box.
Yeah.
Chat box, chat box. Sorry, okay, I'll do the same. No
Yes.
issue. Yeah. Let me give a try. Hari, correct. Okay, so check whether you got it. Aims of educational. Okay. I think now you can have access to it. Hi. Promote social justice and equity in education. So we discussed lots of matters actually. That means how sociology and education, they are interrelated, and you have got it. And so ultimate purpose, goal is to create an education system that provides equal opportunities for all students. Okay, the purpose of getting this understanding is to provide all students and all students equal opportunities. And okay, regardless of their background, uh, all students should be having equal access to education. And meaning and nature of educational sociology. educational sociology is a subfield of sociology. Okay, that you know. And this subfield study, subfield focuses on the study of education as a social institution. So under that, we study how education is shaped by social, cultural relationships and processes. Okay, so now in your syllabus, there is a theory actually. Theory is of Emily Durkheim. Okay, now we have to move to it. And this is the person. Yeah, we'll understand it. Okay, we'll see. Emily Durkheim was a prominent French sociologist. So Emily Durkheim was a French sociologist. But he is very significant because he contributed a lot to the field of sociology. So this person argued that education plays a crucial, very important role in maintaining social order and cohesion. So he emphasized very strongly the importance of education for social order and cohesion. Transmitting shared values and norms, developing social solidarity and collective consciousness, preparing individuals for their role in society. And these three factors we'll discuss here. sorry, I was explaining, it was muted actually. Social solidarity. So Durkheim argued that society is held together by a shared sense of moral order and collective consciousness. So, according to him, there are two types of social solidarity. One is mechanical solidarity. Let me show you the other one. Other one is organic solidarity. What is mechanical solidarity? So then this mechanical solidarity, it was easily found in traditional societies. With strong collective consciousness and limited individual differentiation. So they were having some uh, societies with strong collective conscience and limited individual differences. Okay. Organic solidarity. I know you know the meaning of solidarity. That means working together, cooperating. Organic society found in modern complex societies with high division of labor and interdependence between individuals. Okay, I feel nothing is there to explain. Next one. So we are talking about his theory, Emily Durkheim, social solidarity, organic solidarity. Next one, anomie. Anomie. What is anomie? You just understand. Anomie refers to a state of normlessness or breakdown of social norms and values. So that means there are certain norms in societies and they are very important. Okay, so these norms are important. Norms means certain things which are accepted by the majority. Norms. We accept them as norms when the majority accept them. So when state when we say there are no norms, norms are not respected in a society, or else breaking down of social norms and values, that is called anomie. Durkheim argued that anomie can lead to a social problem such as deviance, suicide, and social unrest. So then the breaking down of social norms and values will lead to social problems such as deviance, that means people are not close to each other, suicide, and social unrest. Okay. And anomy, that you can understand. Then religion. Okay, so according to Durkheim, religion is a fundamental social institution. Okay, so then he argued that religious beliefs and rituals create a shared sense of belonging and meaning. Okay, religion is important for society actually. It highlights the collective consciousness and social solidarity. So that means Durkheim is arguing that a collective consciousness and social solidarity that is important. For that actually the religion is very important. Honey, next one. Okay, suicide. Durkheim conducted groundbreaking research. So this person conducted research actually. So he conducted research on suicide. Then he saw suicide as a social phenomenon rather than an individual act. So Durkheim consider suicide is a social phenomenon rather than taking it as an individual act. So he has identified different types of suicide, including egoistic, altruistic, anomic, fatalistic, each linked to different social condition. Yes, egoistic means, you know what, ego. That means thinking only about himself or herself. Altruistic, that is opposite of this. And then anomic and fatalistic, each linked to different social conditions. Sorry, okay. From this slide, what you need to know is actually uh, suicide is a huge social factor. So that's a social matter actually, rather than taking it as an individual matter. And there are types of suicides. Division of labor. Durkheim explored how the division of labor in society contributes to social integration and interdependence. So he argued that the increasing specialization of task is in modern societies creates new form of social cohesion. So here that means just imagine a garment factory. So there one person is not completing stitching a full suit, and different parts of the shirt, sorry, shoe, okay, whatever it is, different part of the shirt is made by different persons. And one may be expert in stitching the collar. Another one may be an expert in marking, sorry, in making sleeves. Another one may be some other thing. It's like that. So this is another theory, Martin's train theory of deviance. Just read. Okay, we'll understand. Martin's train theory of deviance. Anomy. We have already discussed this. Anomy means it's a condition actually, the violation of social norms. Martin adapted Durkheim's concept of anomy. Yeah, Durkheim is the one who spoke about this concept first. To explain how societal values and structures can lead to a deviance. He argued that anomy arises when there is a disconnect between culturally defined goals and the legitimate means available to achieve those goals. Strain. This disconnect creates a strain or a pressure on individuals to find alternative, often illegitimate ways to achieve the desired goal. And this disconnect creates strain or pressure on individuals to find alternative, often illegitimate way to achieve the desired goals. Next one. Five adaptations to strain. Yeah, just read. Yes. Martin, did you ask a question? Sorry? Is it some other talking or are you asking some questions related to the lesson? If you ask questions, I like actually. If you have a question, you can ask. I feel it's some other talking. 5 adaptations to strain. Martin identified 5 ways individual adapt to their strain. Number 1 is conformity. Accepting both the cultural goals and the legitimate means to achieve them. This is the most common adaptation. That means persons want to accept both the cultural goals and the legitimate means. So to achieve cultural goals, the person is using a legitimate means. So the method he is using to accept both cultural goals is through legitimate. In Sinhala we call Nityanukula, legitimate way. Innovation according to the cultural goals, but rejecting the legitimate means. So innovation, accepting the cultural goals, but rejecting the legitimate means. This leads to deviance such as crime or illegal activities. Hari, okay. Accepting the cultural goals but rejecting the legitimate means. Okay. Next one. Ritualism. Ritualism, rejecting the cultural goals but accepting the legitimate means. This may lead to a focus on following rules and procedures without any real ambition. So it looks very mechanical. So what is this message? One is telling she was having a problem in sharing it. Don't you have your own personal WhatsApp group? So then if it is there, one can upload the slide on it. Let me, I will, if one is requesting, I will share it once again, but I don't know whether it will work. Okay, wait, I will upload this. See whether you got it now. Ritualism, that means rejecting the cultural goals but except in the legitimate means. This may lead to focus on following rules and procedures without any real ambition. Okay. What is she telling? So you can switch off your microphone. We can see what your relatives are talking. We can hear actually. Hari. Retreatism. Rejecting both the cultural goals and the legitimate means. This can lead to withdrawal from society, such as drug addiction and homelessness. Retreat means escape. So sometimes we can see there are people who rejected both cultural goals and legitimate means. For an example, those who are addicted to drug, okay, they can be coming under retreatism. Rebellion. What is this message? I tried to mute actually but here I'm also I'm not the one who created the link, so I don't get an option to mute it. So when I click these three dotted where normally we can mute someone else, it indicates only chat and pin. Harry. Retreatism, you might have understood, rejecting both the cultural goals and the legitimate means. This is lead to withdrawal from society, and there are some people, they are very much out of society. Example, those who are addicted to drug and those who are homeless. And second one is rebellion. And some people reject both cultural goals and legitimate means. Rejecting both the cultural goals and legitimate means, but actively seeking to replace them with the new goal and meaning. This can lead to social movements or revolutionary activities. That means they are trying to so rather than being traditional, so these rebellious people, they create new things, actually, new concepts. Hari. Now 1.4, sociology of education. So that is our topic. sociology of education. The sociology of education delves into the social dynamics within educational setting that we already know, examining the interactions, relationships, cultural influences, and shape the learning experience. And you know this already, nothing is there to explain actually. So the next topic is social interactions in the classroom. Okay. Social interactions in the classroom. Classroom interactions are complex and multifaceted, and they are influenced by the factors like teacher-student relationship, peer interactions, classroom climate, instructional methods. These are the factors which affect classroom interaction. See, teacher-students relationship. We have spoken about teacher-student relationship. The wording was there, but here we are talking about it in a different way. Okay, teacher-student relationship. So here the relationship, it means the communication between teacher and students. So there are various forms of communication, including, we'll see, uh, direct instructions. So during lectures, demonstrations, question and answer sessions, they are the examples. And then feedback and assessment, providing constructive criticism, grading assignment, and offering support. Teachers are doing that. Guidance and counseling. That means offering emotional and academic support to students, and that can be done by teachers. Okay, so what we discuss here is teacher-student relationship. Teacher has to give direct instructions, teacher has to give feedback, and teacher has to guide and do counseling for them. And next one, now we'll see what teachers teacher-student relationship. Now students interaction. You just see. Okay, there should be a very good relationship between teacher and students. At the same time, there should be a very positive relationship between student and student. So this includes interaction among students themselves. So group work and collaboration. That means in this modern uh, education, group works are encouraged, collaborative work. Working together on projects, sharing ideas and solving problems. So they can get together and do it. And peer learning and tutoring. Students helping each other understand. I have written them in short form. That means rather than learning from a teacher, sometimes peer learning is more effective. And we have seen when exams are coming closer, when they are given study leave, so they students get together and study. So there is no teacher, but one student who understood the lesson well will tell the lesson to other students, teach the lesson to other students. And then social interactions, that means building friendship, forming cliques. Cliques means small groups, and engaging in social activities within the classroom. Social interaction, actually. So students interactions occurs in three ways, actually, according to this: group work and collaboration, peer learning and tutoring, social interaction. Helika Birakkudi, do you want to say something? You have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a mistake?
Actually, no, no, no. Actually,
Ah,
I'm in UAE. So here
sorry?
also children.
Ah,
Can you hear me?
okay, understood. You, Hari?
So here also children's only doing everything. That's mean children are doing more in assembly also. So
Uh-huh.
and peer buddies also there. That's mean if they want to share their ideas, they we have peer buddies. So they are
Uh-huh.
turning to their buddies and they will talk and they are answering after that.
They don't depend on the teacher.
Yeah, sometimes we are
Yeah.
doing like that, and morning ritual also. They are doing assembly also. They are conducting the assembly.
Ah, really? That is really good, actually.
Yes, ma'am.
It is very important, actually. Even in Sri Lankan education system, there should be more room for them. This, actually. But still, in this 21st century, 2025, Sri Lankan education system is totally teacher dependent. So that is the thing. Okay, very nice. So then it doesn't mean that teachers, they do not have work, actually. Sometimes teachers planning is taking more time and more serious work. So sometimes traditional teaching is easy rather than guiding students for collaborative activities. Don't you feel like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's what. You are there in Saudi. Here we have peer teaching evaluation. Yeah, very good. Working consciousness consensus. The concept of working consensus refers to the shared understanding and expectation that exists between teacher and students regarding classroom behavior and learning. Okay, the definition should be very clear to you. So there should be a shared understanding between teacher and the students, that is regarding classroom behavior and learning. So very simple topic, importance of social interactions in the classroom. Okay, importance of social interaction in the classroom. Enhance learning. So the main thing is social interaction in the classroom enhance, develop learning. So constructivism. Okay, so then constructivism is a educational theory actually. So social interaction is central to constructivist learning theory. Okay, the core or else the center of constructivism is social interaction. And it emphasized that learning occurs through social interaction and the negotiation of meaning. So that is what constructivism believes. That means learning occurs through social interaction and a negotiation of meaning. And the next one is cognitive development. So, social interactions in the classroom will enhance cognitive development. That means interacting with others help students develop critical thinking. Motivation and engagement. Social interactions can increase students' motivation and engagement by making learning more enjoyable and collaborative. So, motivation is very, very important. Okay, so here you can see factors influencing social interaction. Yeah, you can see. Okay, we'll see factors that influence social interactions. Classroom climate. The overall atmosphere of the classroom, uh, which includes factors like trust, respect, inclusivity, significantly influence social interaction. So we got to know it is somewhere else. So that means it can affect positively or negatively. Okay, so when trust, respect, inclusivity, significant, yeah, they are there, it affects positively the social interactions. When the respect, inclusivity, trust is very low, it affects negatively. And then teacher's role. A teacher's teaching style, communication skills, and classroom management techniques, uh, they play a major role in shaping social interaction. Then students' diversity. That means the diversity of students in terms of background, learning style, personalities, and that also affect social interactions. So, the students are not from the same background, they are from different background, and their learning styles are different. So, their personality that also should be different. So, this affects social interaction. And then technology. The use of technology in the classroom can both facilitate and complicate social interactions. So that is what has happened to modern world actually. Technology, the use of technology always with smartphone or laptop. So that even in the classroom, this is about Western countries. Still in Sri Lanka, I don't know. That can affect the social interactions. Social and emotional development. Yeah, just read what we earlier did. Factors influencing social interaction. Now we are talking about social and emotional development. Okay, just get some idea. Social and emotional development. So when students interact with each other inside the classroom, it will develop social skills and it will build relationships and learn to navigate social situations. And then conflict resolution. So students, they learn how to resolve conflicts and how to negotiate and how to cooperate with each others. Okay, so students learn to resolve conflicts, negotiate, and cooperate with others. Self-esteem and confidence, positive social interactions can boost students' self-esteem, and confidence. So if there is a positive interaction inside the class, of course, the students will boost their self-esteem and confidence. Is the time now? Okay. Yeah, we'll start this working consensus. Is this the one we did? Hari, okay. A working consensus. In the context of decision making and group dynamics, a working consensus generally refers to an agreement that is reached among a group of people. Okay, that means when students are working in a group, they should reach certain agreements. So when group members are having different opinions, it's difficult. Even they can have different opinions, but at last they should accept, they should agree one. So sometimes what they agree is not a unanimous agreement. That means there may be some students who are against it. It means that while everyone may not fully agree on every aspect of decision, they are willing to move forward and support the decision as a whole. Okay, even though you do not like the opinion, when the majority agrees, you also have to support it. Okay, key characteristics, shared understanding. So that means to have working consensus, these conditions are needed. Shared understanding, there should be a very good understanding, shared understanding among group members. They all should be working towards one goal and objectives. And then mutual respect, individual respect towards each other. Commitment to actions. So when they are working in a group, actually they have, they should commit to their work. And they should not think other things. They should think themselves as group members. Then flexibility. So then working consensus allows for adjustment and modification as needed. So agreement, it doesn't mean if it is necessary, it can be adjusted. There can be changes. Hari, okay. So we stop with this, otherwise this is, there's no point of starting it. We'll stop and we have to start next week. This I will highlight it, otherwise I will ask you what we have to do for a long time. I will highlight it in red color. Then next day I can easily recognize it. I will do something like this. Harry. Okay. So there are no tough things in this lesson actually, but still there are lots of facts. So that is the nature. We can't help it actually. So now it is almost 9:30. Before that, do you have any questions to be asked regarding what we did today?
So far, it's clear for me, ma'am.
Annie, okay, nice to hear. Okay. So next day, before we start something new, I will give you certain questions, multiple choice questions on what we did. Then you will refresh your memory about it. Okay. So with this, shall we wind up the session for today?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then good night
Thank
and
you.
have a nice
Good
time.
night.
Good night.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Okay,
you. Good night.
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, welcome. Good night.